there, beautiful people. Welcome to a very special place in my heart. We are going to be playing and starting a Dynasty in NCAA 14 with the Miami Hurricanes with the U. And these are the most recent rosters. I know it says 2013, but if we go here, these are the rosters from the last football season in college football. Because there hasn't been a game, an NCAA game in so long, this is the best I could do. As you can see, we have Brad Kaya, who recently left the U for the draft. This roster is senior loaded, but they have some promising pieces. If we go over here to our linebacking group, you will see what I'm talking about. We have a freshman that's probably going to start right there. Maybe even Perry will compete with him. Our middle linebacker, another freshman, Shaq Quarterman. He is going to be a great piece for us in rebuilding and reconstructing this university. Hopefully we can take them back to the days of Ed Reed, to the days of Andre Johnson, and to the days of Ray Lewis. One thing we're going to have to target this season is most definitely the secondary, because we lose a lot of talent in the secondary, especially that cornerback position. Our safety, yeah, we're going to need something there too, but we have at least a decent backup in Jaquan Johnson. How about our strong safety? Yeah, another senior. So we have some people and pieces that we're going to need to replace, but overall, this roster is something that we can work with. And as I said, this is the most up-to-date as of last season, and probably around July is when I'm going to be starting a new dynasty with the most current rosters before the football season. But if we go up here, you can see Ohio State, JT Barrett's in here. If we go even further up, all the way up to probably who we could face later on in the season, Clemson, they have Deshaun Watson. In Alabama, of course, Roll Tide, they have Jalen Hurts, they have Blake Barnett, and they have, of course, Bo Scarborough and Damian Harris. So we have some competition, some stiff competition, especially in the ACC. If we look at our schedule, there's some big dates that we're going to have and some big matchups coming up. Clemson in week 3. Now, Miami didn't actually play Clemson this year, but I couldn't change that. They did play Appalachian State, who I imported into this season. They played Florida Atlantic, and I made Notre Dame that other team because they do play Notre Dame. So we have a decent schedule. Clemson's going to be big for us. Heading into that bye week and then taking on Notre Dame, that's going to be a big game as well. Then, of course, we're going to take on the Seminoles later on at the Orange Bowl. We're not going to Tallahassee this year. So that's our schedule. But what I want to do before we wrap this opening episode up of this dynasty is I want to do some picking and choosing of who we're going to be recruiting this season. I have targeted all of my guys, and the last thing we need to wrap up this recruiting class, if we lose Brett Kyle, we need an heir to the throne, and I'm looking at Brent Rivers here, or maybe even Jesse Slaughter. But, you know, Andrew Thomas, he's out of Florida, out of Dade City, and he's 6'3", 210 pounds. Because of that pipeline bonus, I'm going to try to get Thomas here too, and that's going to wrap up all of our recruiting. We have 26 targets on our recruiting board so far, and let's actually take a look at them before we move on and start the regular season. Luke Harris here, as I said, we're going to target a lot of cornerbacks, a lot of secondary position, and as you can see through all these targeted people, our defense is what we're going to rebuild. We have some skill set on the offense that I targeted as well, of course, but for the most part, this is going to be a defensive heavy recruiting class. We have the receivers, we have the halfback. I tried to get a center in there, but we're ready to go.